Hey everyone, I hope you've had a great day so far and that you're doing well. For this video we'll be continuing through our retrospective page through of Imperium with issue 16, and obviously Imperium was for the 40k setting, unlike some of the other week by week magazines which I think do Age of Sigmar, but this particular issue of Imperium, so 16, was released all the way back in, was it 2022 I believe, give or take, I think. Anyway, moving right along. So, front of the issue with Imperium, so this should go back to being a bit more of a short version because it's just pretty much the magazine itself. So we have a nice image sporting a good array of Ultramarines and what appears to be an old school land speeder. Oh, I miss those days. That does look very cool. It looks like they're against Chaos because I can see a Defiler or maybe a Hellbrute here in the bottom, or a few Defilers. Very nice artwork. So for this particular issue, so we've seen the preview of some of the previous ones, but we'll get 5 more Assault Intercessors. So no doubt there'll probably be some snippets about that, especially with the how to build and paint, information about Chaos Space Marines, and using large units in games. So I suspect this will probably be in relation to the actual gaming playthrough. It does look very cool for the front of the issue. Going inside, now this one's probably going to fall apart within mere seconds. So on the contents page, the Assault Intercessors, which we'll see in a minute. In terms of story, some Eldritch Artifice ranged weapons, so something about the Necrons, the Chaos Space Marines as we saw on the front of the cover, the Assault Intercessors, how to build, how to paint, and some rule references with the playthrough. Assault Intercessors, now this isn't the first time we've seen them. One of the previous issues had 5 of them, so we're just getting another 5 to basically round out a full squad of 10. Now noticing these ones, they don't appear to look like they're equipped with anything overly special outside of their standard equipment set, i.e. no special war gear like a plasma pistol, which I think I spotted on the Sprue, which we'll see in a minute. Yeah, this issue is not going to last very long. Usual battle record on the back, which is always nice to see, and in fact it's pretty much got something for each of the Marines. There is a sergeant included, which is funny because I'm pretty sure the first 5 also had a sergeant, so I guess in this instance maybe you just don't paint him up as a sergeant, which they like to do with a multicolored helmet. Ranged weapons of the Necrons, so we have the Gauze weapons, Tesla weapons, Synaptic Disintegrator. Now back in my early days to the Necrons it was just the Gauze weapons and their clear plastic rods. These new Tesla and Synaptic Disintegrator weapons and particle weapons are probably new into their war gear options. So it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds story-wise. This issue is going to literally be ready for the binder by the end of this page. Other weapons, Doomsday weapons, Enigmatic weapons, Death Rays, teleportation weapons, monoliths. I know of the units, but I can't remember the name. It looks like a very heavy destroyer, and not too familiar. Yes, this issue is literally falling apart. Now, obviously the downside about subscriptions, because they pack in 4 issues, I think this one, because of what else was in the 4-pack, obviously, I don't want to say folded, dented the issue, so pretty much the binding seems pretty much coming under. Chaos Space Marines. So some information about the former members of the Imperium doing their usual chaosy things. Chaos Corruption, and then got Horus Heresy. I remember the days when the Horus Heresy was basically something I wonder, now not so much, which isn't a bad thing. They've done a very good job of fleshing all that. How to build the Intercessors, so starting with a Sergeant who will not be built with anything overly special, but there is going to be some extra components in the way of a chainsword hand, the plasma pistol hand, half a torso, some heads and some pouches, so definitely some options for some variations there, or some spare bits. And then on the back, just going through the remaining 4 Marines of the set. Now looking at these, I can just see by the images, they're all going to be push fits, so some will be good, some will be bad. How to paint, shouldn't be anything overly unusual because we have seen this in a previous issue. In fact, it could be image for image. Last few pages are actually holding up a lot better. The final tabletop ready, I guess, before we get some more paints in future issues. Rules references, so what do we have here? How to do the movement phase, vertical engagement. Now this is going to always be an interesting thing because it is something relatively new to me. Reinforcements, so it's actually just basically a natural playthrough of the whole thing. The shooting phase, attack sequence, weapon types, charge phase and fight phase. Now this is interesting because I was actually looking through the Spaceman Codex probably within the last 24 hours of recording this, and was thinking about the impact of things like power fists, chain fists, thunder hammers in close combat these days, because I remember back in the day what they were, they used to basically attack last because they were quote-unquote cumbersome, although they were very heavy hitters. So I don't know if that's the same these days or if they can somewhat attack simultaneously. But anyway, this issue is pretty much going through, well, this part of the playthrough is going through the entire actual sequence of events, which is very nice. So it's nice to see everything broken down. There is an actual mission here, so it's a Destroy the Warden mission. So we've got the Royal Warden and Assault Intercessors. So in terms of the placement key, from what I can see here, not that I'm going to lift it to the camera, so there will be the Warden, 10 Warriors, and 8 Assault Intercessors. I can't see this going well for them. Then again, they are 2 wound apiece, so... and obviously Spaceman's got the first move, and obviously get into it. Looking at this particular image, doesn't look like it's going very well. Mind you, I can see a few red silhouettes here, so there was some success in the shooting phase. Now, I think their weapons might count as pistols. I'd have to page through, but maybe not today. And then getting through into a close combat sequence, which seems to work out a lot better for them. Definitely not too bad. There's very much Space Marines themed. And then on to the last page, obviously just that little bit about Imperium. Now, since I'm going to have to hold everything together now. Coming soon, so issue 17 we already know about because we've seen this particular preview I think for 2 issues now. Issue 18 is new, so that'll be back to the Necrons with the Necron Technomancer. Does look very cool. Now I think that Technomancer does come in the Kill Team set. I think. Don't quote me. What else do we expect to see in the issue? We'll have some information about the Trukari, the Dark Eldar basically, and how to basically play through with the Technomancer. And it looks like we will get a new double-sided battle mat. So there we go, some new battle mat options on how to play games on. Very cool. So that is what is left of issue 16. Definitely not too bad. Now, as for the Intercessors, now I won't go through all of them. We do get 5 of these push fit bases, as you can see by the actual hole that has been already pre-cut into it. As for the runner, here we go. Now, I feel like we've probably seen a variation of this runner, given these are the push fits. But I'm pretty sure this is the exact same runner that we saw in one of the previous issues. I'll find out soon enough when I cut everything out. But there you go. 5 Assault Intercessors. There is a pistol here. Otherwise, you've pretty much... I think they're the heavy bolt pistols. I'm still getting used to the war gear, especially now that Prime Maris is a thing. That's one side, and obviously that's the other side. So as you can see, there's definitely a lot of those push fit holes and pegs. So shouldn't be... Well, it won't be difficult to put them together. In fact, you probably won't even need to have the glue around, depending how good the push fit is, which I hear is It's not terrible. Apparently it's not great, especially if you've done Gumpler, where push fit obviously is on point. But either way, it's going to be easy putting these together. And if you really want to do conversions, it's pretty much just a case of snip off the peg and do what you need to do. But that is very cool. So that was the included runner for the Intercessors. Okay, so that pretty much brings us to the end of the page through of issue 16. Good to see some more reinforcements unit-wise, and definitely some information story-wise for the Necrons and the Chaos Space Marines, which I'll probably look at. But I think having that little summary at the beginning of the playthrough with all the various phases and things like that is definitely very handy to have. I'm sure those summaries exist elsewhere, so it's not like it's unique to this issue, but issue 16 is definitely a bit of a standout for that particular breakdown summary. Leaving it there, thank you very much for watching this continuation of the Imperium page through. Feel free to do the usual like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. This does help support the channel, and I do appreciate it. Extra content is on my Instagram, as well as check out the community tab as well. As of recording this, I have done the first intro episode of building my Emperor's Children army, so we'll see how that goes on. So I'm going to keep that little episodic format going, and hopefully with a bit of luck that'll bring into fruition an Emperor's Children army. With that all being said, stay safe, take care, and I'll catch you all in next week's issue 17 page through, possibly something else 40k on the channel, or just something in general on the channel. See ya.